Waka, what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch Eaglemoss review. And I honestly thought long and hard about this one because of the models that I had. We're basically on the last one, and even though I have reviewed the XL Enterprise D and I've reviewed the Dreadnought Special Edition, you know, I was kind of thinking, maybe I won't do this one since this is issue number 1. Everybody should pretty much have this issue, but you know what? We're going to fill some time. We do have a few new models on the way, but we are going to fill some time. We are going to take a look back to where it all began, issue number 1 of the official Star Trek Starships collection with the Enterprise NCC-1701-D standard size. And of course, there it is on the table before us in its stand and ready to go. And before that, you know what we always do here. We always take a look at the magazine. No box, because of course all the Eaglemoss boxes at this point were pretty much the same. But you can move on to the magazine. Of course, we have a nice frontal shot of the Enterprise 1701-D, U.S.S. Enterprise 1701-D. It is a Galaxy class launched in 2363 at a length of 641 meters and 42 decks. And of course, there is issue number 1 right there, the first in the collection. And then, of course, we have our table of contents, the profile, the classic scene, designing the ship, filming the ship, and on-screen, along with our stand instructions. And, of course, there we have a nice frontal orthographic view of the Enterprise D. It is a Galaxy class built in the Utopia Planitia fleet yards. It launched in 2363, destroyed in 2371, at a length of 641 meters, 42 decks, with a crew of 1,012, at a warp speed of 9.6, 12 Type 10 phaser arrays, 3 photon torpedo launchers, and commanded by Jean-Luc-Picard and Edward Jellicoe. And of course, then we have our shots of the star drive section, the impulse drive for the star drive section, and the saucer section for the bridge area. And there we go for the Enterprise 1701-D. The U.S.S. Enterprise 1701-D was more than a third of a mile long and had a crew of over 1,000 people. I believe the Enterprise was only half full. The standard crew size was, I believe, 2,000 for this ship. And there we have a very nice 3D model view of the Enterprise D. There is the shuttle bay right down there. Sorry for any glare, by the way. And we'll turn the page, and of course, we have a few other shots. We have the Enterprise escaping a Borg cube. We have the bridge of the Enterprise. And then, of course, we have the saucer separation, which was indigenous to the Enterprise. Now, I believe all Enterprises could tactically separate, but the Enterprise D was the first one where the saucer could actually rejoin without the help of a space dock. But feel free to correct me on that in the comments. And then, of course, we have our upper orthographic view of the Enterprise D. Of course, you can find these all over because this is a very popular ship. And then, of course, there's a side view of the Enterprise D. And then, of course, we got some close-ups of all that makes her the beast that she is. And there, of course, we have some early Probert sketches. Of course, Andrew Probert, the designer of this ship, got quite a few sketches here of just what the Enterprise D could look like. A few more sketches from the book of Probert. There we go, all the different sketches. And then, of course, we have the Enterprise 1701-D filming the Enterprise D. There we have the actual studio models that were used. And then, of course, we have a little bit of on-screen with the Enterprise D encounter at Farpoint, the pilot for Star Trek The Next Generation. And there we have a nice upper orthographic view of the Enterprise D on the back. So let's get a look at the stand instructions. I do believe I glued this stand long ago, but you can see it's got these 2 little widgets right in the center there. You're just going to bring this up, and they're going to come around the thin part of the star drive section just like that. And then you're going to slide it up, and you're just going to line it up with the saucer like so, and it's going to collapse around the star drive section. And there we have the Enterprise D in its stand with a nice upward pose like it's going into outer space. But let's check out the ship itself. And again, the start of the collection, and this feels like an overall really solid model. There is a ton of detail packed in this model. A lot of weight in the saucer for the model. That is where most of the weight is. I do believe the star drive section is all a plastic type construction, but this is pretty typical of Galaxy class ships and Nebula class ships. All the weight is in the saucer. It's probably got a little bit of metal in there, and you can just see the Aztec. And it does have kind of like a dull kind of beige color along with the gray Aztecing though. Got a phaser strip all the way around, U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D. A little bit of a jagged edge, but you know what? It's unnoticeable from so far away. And you do have tons of window detailing all over all the escape pods, all the way around the saucer. And they are protruding outwards of the saucer. You got the bridge escape pods up here, the little bridge dome right up here, looking real good. Even some little indents right here as well. And then of course you have all the little windows, and of course we do got some misalignments here. Of course, you know, that was typical of Eaglemoss. I don't notice it from 5 feet away. You have the shuttle bay back here. It is done in like a gray rib. You can see 1701D Enterprise. I love the use of all the texting on here, and again, this thing is just loaded with notes. You just kind of get a feel of the scale and the size. You do have the shuttle bays back here on the back of the saucer, and then of course the impulse engine main one done in red. And then of course the two saucer impulse engines done in red. It is painted in red, so there we go for that. And then if we come around to the bottom of the ship, you see NCC-1701-D. It looks very good, and again you got that gray and beige. Got a little bit of gold accents right here, and you got all the, there's 10 forward right there, I do believe. And then of course you got all the window accents, no misalignments because there is no indents for the windows. Then more escape pod detailing all around. Going down there, of course we have our torpedo launcher right in there, and you get to see on the neck area, yeah, tons of window misalignments, but it is what it is. It actually kind of looks pretty messy down there, but again, it's one of those things you don't notice from 5 feet away. And for like what, this model was like 25 bucks when it came out. I'm pretty sure you can still get these relatively cheap, at least in this scale. This is, you know, it is what it is. And then of course you have the Bassard collectors, nice touch. They're done in a clear red plastic, and the warp coil area done in a blue plastic. It looks very good. And then got some like, mine's kind of faded around here, but you do got some nice kind of oranges conduit detail. NCC-1701, you got the phaser strip on there, and of course you have the nacelles. They're kind of pointed forward just a little bit. In fact, mine's kind of jagged. It's not straight versus this side. This side maybe a bit better. It doesn't look terrible, and if we can see, looks like alignment is pretty dead on. You got a little bit of tilt here, but I'm not too worried about it. For the most part, it is done pretty good. I love the way that those impulse engines really pop. And come to the bottom, you got the Federation pennant going across the bottom, a little phaser strip down there. Got some escape pod detailing all around. Deflector done in a nice blue with that kind of bronze accent there. You can see you got the molded detail in there. That is real nice. You do have the Calypso in there. That is the the captain's yacht for the ship, the one never seen on screen. And coming back, you got some more detail, and towards the back here you got Enterprise right back there, and that small text looking very good, and you got the pennants on top of the nacelles. And yeah, that is pretty much it for the ship. And we'll just do one comparison, the only comparison that matters. We did do this before during the XL, but we'll bring the XL in there, and of course you can see why they call it the XL, and it basically fits most of the Enterprise in its saucer. And again, all the weight is in the saucer section. You can just see the differences in coloration, but for the most part they are both pretty well done models. Tap saucers over there, and you can see the view from the front looking like that. If we look at the saucer on the XL, I mean, it doesn't look like the windows are as messy. I don't believe there's any indents, so we can't really notice if they are misaligned at all. And then of course we do have the side view right here. And yeah, no, the cells do look straight, so I guess it's just the way they are positioned. And there we go on the side, and that's pretty much going to be it for our comparisons. So let's summarize on where it all began. Issue number 1 of the Eaglemoss official Star Trek Starships collection, the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D. And this is a really strong start for this collection. It's got the hefty weight to it. It uses the clear plastics. It's nicely appointed, nicely detailed. It is plagued with some typical Eaglemoss issues. The window misalignments, the neck connecting the saucer to the star drive section does look kind of messy. But overall, for the price point that this is applying for, this is a really nice model, and honestly I don't notice the window misalignments from 5 feet away, so it doesn't bug me one bit. I will say that I do prefer the lighter shade of gray that is done on the XL model, but again, if this is what your budget can account for, you should not feel upset. This is still a really solid model, and definitely at this price point and this size, this is a solid representation of the ship for your collection. And of course it should be relatively easy to find and relatively affordable. I believe this was again, really produced a lot of. I'm going to put a link to Master Replicas down below in the description. It should still be available there. I will double check, and if not, I'll put a link to real merch as well. FYI, it is Master Replicas' last drop. They had it a while ago. So again, once they're out, they are out, and I don't know where we're going to go from here. But either way, that is going to conclude this review. So you guys know what to do at this point. If you found this review fun and informative, let me know by hitting that like button down below. Also, I encourage you to join my federation if you're not currently a member, and subscribe to my channel. Eaglemoss is one of my biggest playlists on this channel, excuse me. So plenty of video content for you to check out. There is more on the way coming next week. And that is going to conclude everything. I think I've about covered it all. I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Live long and prosper.